Okay, this is a Q&A that I got, and I'm not a huge fan of this subject, but here we go. Should the WWE release Paige? So let's do a quick jump backwards through time here, since we're in April 2017. So up 2014, the Raw after WrestleMania, Paige comes down. Now, in 2014, Paige was the first NXT Women's Champion. She won an amazing match against Emma. She was actually one of the initial fire starters when it came to the Divas Revolution, and was doing amazing matches in NXT. Shows up on Raw to have a match with, at that time, the longest reigning Divas Champion, AJ Lee. Beats her. At that time, she is still and has currently been the only woman to simultaneously hold the NXT Women's Championship and the Divas Championship. If you want to extrapolate, she's the only person I think so far to have held an NXT and a main roster belt simultaneously. AJ took time off. So 2014 she feuded with Alicia Fox. And that's match with AJ, where AJ only got her win back. And then we're 2015, the year of tag matches. Whether she was tagging with Alicia Fox to try to beat people, or whether she was tagging with Natalya to try to beat the Bellas, or tagging with AJ to finally beat the Bellas at WrestleMania. Then, I mean, she pretty much was fed to Nikki repeatedly so Nikki could hold the title because they had no one else to put the belt on. During the time when AJ and Paige were feuding for the title, there was a secondary feud because the Bellas were feuding with each other. So the years when she should have been the top woman. 2014, I think she was PWI, like, top woman wrestler. Rolling Stone's Diva of the Year. I mean, she had everything going for her. 2015, things were kind of muddled. And then the Divas Revolution hit. She was part of the Submission Sorority, or Team PCB. And that, well, you had 9 decent, well, actually, you had 5 amazing wrestlers and 4 good wrestlers. You can decide how you want to split them up. But to make Charlotte and Becky look strong, Paige will only take the pinfalls. A couple of bad moves, like having Paige talk about Charlotte's dead brother in a promo. 2015 was not a banner year for Paige. 2016. They had 2 women's matches. Well, actually, they're still called Divas. 2 Divas matches at WrestleMania. One, the cast of Total Divas versus 5 heels. And another one, the main roster match for the Women's Championship. So do we have a former Divas champion? Former NXT champion? No. Instead, it's the current Divas champion. 2 former NXT champions fighting for the title. Paige, pre-show. That's 2016. So from being the top dog in 2014 to being muddled and relegated to, I would say obscurity because you're still one of the highest women on the roster in 2015, to pre-show 2016. Who's drafted to Raw, has injuries, suspended twice, ends up getting with the guy who is a professional bridge burner in Del Rio. She's been trying to get out of her contract, but she's under her contract, I think, till 2019? I mean, they booked her for a long contract. H saw the potential of her being the next person to really be the face of the division. Then they brought her in thinking, you know what, she's going to change everything. And they didn't book her well. Because you can't have two people who are good wrestlers and the crowd's invested in, have one of them leave and then put the other one in kind of dead-end feuds. So should they release her? If Paige is asking for her release, I would say they grant it. 2014 they booked her well. 2015 not so much. 2016, I mean, I think from like August on, she's been out. Whether it's been injuries or it's been suspensions. I mean, from what I've heard, she's healthy now. They have nothing planned for her. Which sucks. That is probably one of the largest fall from graces that you were the premier athlete in 2014. And in 2015, after WrestleMania, they're like, all right, you're going to constantly lose pay-per-views because we got to make sure this one person holds the title forever. 3 of the 4 Horsemen show up. They are put in the premier spotlight. Paige is in the shadow. That's why she turned heel. So that makes sense. But since she's still part of the Divas era, she's the true transition between Divas and the Women's Revolution. But it sucks. I've met her a couple times. She's really cool. You know, I've got a canvas print. That's the problem with it. I'm looking at like a mirror. Canvas print behind me right there. A page signed. You know, she's really cool, but if they're having issues with her and she's having issues with them and they don't want to use her for anything, she'd be better off being released. And then in the course of 90 days, she would either be feuding with Rosemary at TNA, or she'd be in the indie shows and doing some shimmer, or working with her folks over in the UK. If they have nothing they want to do with her, and she kind of wants a break, might as well let her have it. I mean, as right now, I don't think she's not even 25 yet. You know, if she needs a couple years, you give her a couple years. You know, if she does that for 1 or 2 years and says, you know what, I'm in a better place now, let's do this. Yes. There's no reason to keep her on her account if you're not going to use her. If they're thinking, oh man, she's name value. So, you have an asset you seem to have no intention of using. Might as well let her go someplace else. If she makes a good name for herself someplace else, then when you bring her in, 2 years down the line, it's a huge impact. Literally. You know, if they have nothing planned for her and she wants to cut ties, let her go.